Heidi-ho, everybody. Today we're going to be reviewing a few uncommon road challenges for FSD, which I have personally experienced, and detail how 10.3 handles them. We'll be looking at blocked off roads, high-speed unprotected lefts, extremely windy mountain roads, destinations that are off the map, trains, and a particularly troublesome type of roundabout. Let's get to it.
That was kind of a weird turn. All right, so we're coming at it head on. There's a gap to the left, but it is going straight into the barriers. So I had to stop it there.
So notice here that it doesn't change course until right when we disengage, which is way too late to make a safe course correction around this barrier. It's very interesting that it either doesn't see or doesn't account for the obstacle until it's very close.
So obviously no path through here, but that's where it was trying to go. It keeps seeing a truck, and it kind of cycles with a van, and half the time it wants to go straight, and half the time it wants to go around. All right, so here we got a side approach on the side that has a gap in the barrier. And it did successfully get through the gap.
So again here we see the pathing tentacle is uncertain about whether to go through the barrier or around it, presumably because it's having trouble seeing it, but it's also clear that it does sometimes see an obstruction there that it is pathing around, even if it can't show a model for it on the screen. And we also see that in this case, it does actually successfully steer around the object, presumably because it's at lower speed. It also tries to go through here as through traffic, but that's a whole nother issue.
So now I've got it trying to go through the other side where it is completely closed off, and it is not stopping. So I had to stop for it there.
Similar behavior here. It appears to be trying to navigate through one of the two gaps between the sign and the barrier, but it's not sure. But it does clearly see that something is there at least part of the time, and is not bothered by the road ending.
So as you can see, the road pretty much ends right here, and then it's kind of dirt and gravel beyond that. Nope, it's still trying to go. Okay, so now we're going back the opposite direction, hopefully through the gap from the other side. It shouldn't be too hard because we're just supposed to turn right here, so it just needs to avoid this little sign. But we are coming into the turn way too fast. So it did successfully navigate around it, but I have no idea why it didn't slow down for that turn. Weird. Okay, so we're doing a side approach on the completely blocked off side of the road. And it successfully figured out it can't go through.
So a little more interesting behavior here. It actually completely decides which way it wants to go on the road. First it's right, then it's straight, then it's left, and then it really wants to go through the right. But eventually it seems to just coast past these gaps that it thinks it might be able to get through and decides can't do it. Still slows down a lot, but pretty good.
Okay, trying the same, but from the opposite side. So trying to turn left into this blocked road. And it thinks it can go through. And
similar behavior here. It really wants to go to the left. It even thinks about going straight in the middle here, but decides, no, I can definitely fit through this gap that's 2/3 the width of the car.
So I had to stop it there. So as you can see, it was going to drive straight through this bright white road closed sign. It still thinks that it's okay to go through there. In fact, it seems pretty confident now. Like, even if you were going to try to go through here, there are gaps between the barriers and the signs where, you know, I guess maybe it's trying to go through this gap. It's hard to tell, but it looks like it's going to turn left a little bit. So I think it is trying to shoot through this middle gap here. Okay, so we're trying to head on into the closed road where there's not enough space to fit through, but it seems to think there is. It's seeing a lot of traffic cones. It is not visualizing any of these signs or barriers, and it is proceeding. So I stopped it here. It's pretty much the last second I could.
What's most perplexing to me is on the opposite side, there was a clear gap that the car can fit through, and yet coming head on, it tried to ram straight into the barrier on that side, but on this side, it slows to a stop and then proceeds at a creep, though it still decides it can get through.
So now it's seeing 3 traffic cones blocking it and no way through there, and it's also seeing a phantom car pop up now and then. So yeah, it's definitely, I mean, what we're seeing on the screen is not one-to-one with what FSD is seeing, because it doesn't have models for everything that it can see yet. And all.
This guy's been creeping on us. Yeah, you better run.
All right, we've got cars coming from both sides now. It's telling me to tell it when to go. I am re-engaging at the turn. Now it's waiting, creeping, and now it's telling me to decide when to go. Disengaged and re-engaged again. We've got cars coming from the right. Now it's all clear. There's a car coming from the left. Still telling me to tell it when to go. So I hit the accelerator. It's stopping. There's a car coming from the left. It needs to stop. It's still pulling, creeping out a little bit, but not into their lane. And it did complete the turn decently. And it like figured out where to go just through the vision.
Wow.
Hey, I got cell phone service again.
No calls, yeah. No problem. Just because we're higher up.
Yeah.
No, that's just about right.
Maybe a little slow.
Chad, you could go faster. Should you? No. Yeah, but I still go faster. That's about when Sheila says, slow down.
Tap it.
You're really serious about this.
Yep.
Ah, that's where you put your chains on.
Don't need to slow down much for this.
Ooh, 15. Ooh, slow down, car. Slow down,
Oh,
car.
trust me, it wants to slow down.
Slow down.
Is that slow enough for you?
That's good.
Is that slow enough?
That's 14.
I'm gonna tap it. It's doing really well steering.
That was a tight turn.
That's about as tight as it gets. It's pretty much hairpin. Tapping the accelerator. Or rather, holding the accelerator. Just a bit. There's a good one. Hold the accelerator. Another 15. we're at 15. It's going over the line a bit. But,
Oh, it shows it over the line.
yeah.
And the ranger said, oh, we lose 20 or 30 people every year. They go and fall down the canyon. Whoa, hello?
Nothing there, Bo.
Rams and sees ghosts.
That's
The cameras are that good.
We know, no, there could be ghosts here.
Well, you just said people are lost every year.
Yeah, other people that went right through that
I think your
guardrail
ghost
into the
story
river.
freaked out the car.
Seems like they
10
could
miles
put,
an
like
hour.
a couple more guardrails up.
Yes, like big ones.
Yeah, I feel like they had
Like
guardrails
cement ones.
back there where there wasn't a drop-off.
Mm-hmm.
Put the
Why
turn
are they
signal on.
blinkering?
Well, because there's
Oh, there's
another way to
turn
go.
Whoa! That's a
Wow.
tight turn.
Very nice.
Did that myself?
Yeah.
Woo!
Gotta accelerate out of here, though. I think that was an okay turn. And the turn itself was very, very smooth. So it's supposed to be going into this garden center over here. But as you can see, it doesn't know how to get there. So apparently I'm going to need to do that. Which is just getting this turn lane. Yeah, it just, if you can see there and on the map, it just doesn't see this road. Here. Or the parking area anyway. Which, to be fair, there's not much here when the gate's closed. Saw that EMT as a van. Because we're on an unmapped road. But we'll see. It's clear to both sides. It's going to the right, which is the opposite of the way we're supposed to be going. And now it's getting into the turn lane. Alright, let's see what it does. So we got flashing red lights. We got a crossing bar down. Oh, I see a bus. There you go. You see the bus? This train is a bus. All right. So it's definitely stopped too far back. I'm giving it a tap. Yeah, it doesn't want to get any closer than this. Okay, let's go try another crossing.
FSD, I disagree. It does figure it out when it gets closer here, but it was going too fast.
Wide. And this is a pretty narrow road here. Okay, we're coming right up to the train. We have stopped and we are moving forward, and it is going to try and drive right through the train. Uh-huh. Right. So we're right at the end of the train. It is moving forward as though it wants to go through the train. Wow. That's not good. Alright, so here we got a different crossing. Also blocked by the now stationary train. We've got white cargo on the back of the part blocking this. So it has stopped. It sees a truck ahead. It is still creeping. Now it's stopped. Now it sees the truck's moving around, and I'll have to stop there. We'll give it one more go at this one. So it sees a truck. It's uncertainly creeping forward a bit. Now it's stopped. And it seems to, as long as it sees that truck there, it's not going to proceed, but it seems to move around sometimes. Truck is moving. So now it's seeing this one. And now the truck has disappeared and it is proceeding through as though nothing's there. It only sees one over here for some reason, but it does not see the one right in front of us. Which is very strange that it would not see it when it's even closer. And again, it also sees the railroad tracks as a road. Not too bad. Taking the left. Very good. Here's our roundabout, first one. And it's trying to run over the lower lip of that roundabout.
So as you can see here, it pretty much just goes straight. Doesn't see that lower lip on the roundabout at all. It only barely sees the middle part of the roundabout at the last second.
So here we go. It's not sure which way to go around. And this is a really tough one. There's not much space on the other side of it. Yeah, it's just going pretty much straight into it.
So as you can see here, it can't even make up its mind whether it wants to go to the right or to the left or around the roundabout as it's supposed to. And I'm pretty sure it's that indecision of trying to go both ways, alternating, that makes it go ultimately into the middle of the roundabout.
Not seeing that lip again. So as you can see, like, this would have been a big ask. Because now even I have to back up a little bit to get around here. And now we're going straight through this one. It did slow down, that's good. It came to a complete stop though, which is bad. And it's gonna hit the curb.
So as you can see, this time it is doing what it should. It is seeing the obstacle in the center. It is pathing a curve around it. It does think about going to the right, but decides not to. And everything looks good until it just does not pull the wheel hard enough to the left at the end. I don't see any way it wasn't going to hit the curb there.
Okay, speed for that speed bump. I don't know if it slowed for the speed bump or this roundabout. Kind of seems like the roundabout. Okay, now this one has a really wide, short lip around it, and it is going to hit that lip.
It's really hard to tell here, but if you look closely, it looks like that circle in the center is shrinking and growing as we approach it. So I think at some point it had a good path around this, but as we got closer, it kind of shrank down, and so it got too close to the lip.
Gonna hit that lip. There we go. So I'm going to take it back around to this roundabout again, and in the process we're going to go all the way around this one, or try to. Okay, that's a good start. It's taking it wide, we're a little too wide, and it's abandoning it. So it was just going to go off to the right there.
All the way around this one, or try to. Okay, that's a good start. It's taking it wide, or a little too wide, and it's abandoning it.
So it was just going to go off to the right there. Coming into this roundabout pretty hot. Now it's slowing down, that's good. And we're going all the way around it. Or we're going to try to. And we... Oh.
All right, there's a lot to this one. So it starts off with an indecision about where it's going to go, and then it comes into the turn a little too fast, and right here, it needs to be hard turning to the right to get around the lip, and it does not do that. So we end up with our back wheel on the lip, and then right about here, it starts considering going off to the right side, abandoning the turn. And I think that is what pulls it wide. And it happens again right here, and I think this one's what really threw us off into the curb. So in order to get it to work on these small roundabouts that have little to no margin for error, they're going to need to eliminate these errant routes that it keeps coming up with.
Our back wheel went over the lip of it, and we were about to run into the curb as well. And then this is going to be the last roundabout we'll do, go in this direction, which we're going to go try and go straight past it. That's a good start. Yep, it does handle going straight through that one.
Lo and behold, we finally got a successful one, and notice the complete lack of funny business on the path planner. It's constant the entire time around, and no problem. So that's what we need to see.
If it'll go all the way around it. Right now, it's okay. Nope. It it just abandoned that. Okay, so we were supposed to go all the way around to the left on that roundabout, and it just kind of gave up and went right. So that's fun. It likes to put a blinker on when it's entering a roundabout. Okay. Taking it wide, very wide, and we're going all the way around. Okay. Apparently it's really done.